Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers and sisters, welcome to a brand new episode of the second series of Know Your Prophet. We come to Salat al-Dhuha, the chapter of the Dhuha prayer. We've already heard some of the description of the Dhuha of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the previous chapter about the worship of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now we come to the hadith of Mu'adha رحمها الله أنها قالت قلت لعائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها أكان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يصلي الضحى قالت نعم 4 ركعات يزيد ما شاء الله عز وجل. Mu'adha asked Aisha رضي الله عنها, did the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم used to pray duha? Aisha radiallahu anha said, yes, he used to pray 4 raka'at and would add to that whatever Allah willed him to add. As for the duha prayer, brothers and sisters, the duha prayer is the prayer that is performed from after sunrise, not after fajr, after sunrise, i.e. the time on your clock that says shuruq, add to that approximately 12 minutes, to 15 minutes to be safe. So if you have a look at your prayer timetable says shuruq. If you add to that approximately 12 to 15 minutes for the sun to finish rising, from this time until the time of zawal, when the sun is exactly in the middle of the sky. We know it's forbidden to pray from finishing the fajr jama'ah until this time of about 15 minutes after the sunrise time on your timetable, 12 to 15 minutes after the time of sunrise on your timetable, and then you can begin to pray from that time until zawal, when it is also forbidden to pray, and that is when the sun is directly above. Salat al-Dhuha, this is the duha prayer. The best time for duha is when even the young camels feel the heat. As the Prophet ﷺ said, is narrated in Sahih Muslim, as even when the young camels feel the heat. So when the heat of the day really gets hot. And that is approximately after half of the morning has passed. So if we calculate the morning as being from sunrise to zawal, and let's just say the sun rises at 7 a.m. and dhuhr is at 1 p.m. So between 7 and 12 you have 5 hours, and then you have 1 hour until 1. So that's a total of 6 hours. So roughly it would be after 10 o'clock in this instance, after half of the day has passed, half of the morning has passed, which would be around 10 o'clock, 10:30, something like that, when the heat really starts to get hot. That is the best time for Salat al-Dhuha. The minimum amount of the Dhuha prayer is 2 raka'ah, and the largest that you should generally stick to is 8. And that is because that is the most the Prophet ﷺ would pray. However, sometimes it's mentioned the Prophet ﷺ prayed 12. Some of the scholars say that this includes making up for some of the other missed prayers that were missed, as opposed to just making up for the night prayer. In general, the Prophet ﷺ's duha prayer did not exceed 8 raka'at. So most of the scholars said that your duha prayer should also not exceed 8 raka'at. Aisha indicated to Mu'adha that the Prophet ﷺ would pray 4 raka'at at-duha, and that he would increase whatever Allah Azza wa Jal willed him to pray more of. There is another form of duha, which is that you sit in the masjid from fajr until sunrise, add that 15 minutes or 12 minutes, then stand up and pray 2 raka'ah. These 2 raka'ah are also part of a duha prayer, and you can add to them with other prayers during that morning period as well. وعن أنس بن مالك رضي الله تعالى عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يصلي الضحى 6 ركعات. From Anas, that the Prophet ﷺ would pray the duha prayer 6 raka'at. We've mentioned anywhere between 2 and 8 was the norm. وعن عبد الرحمن بن أبي ليلى قال ما أخبرني أحد أنه رأى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يصلي الضحى إلا هانئ رضي الله تعالى عنها. Nobody informed me that they saw the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم pray duha apart from Hanī رضي الله عنها. فإنها حدثت, so she told me, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم دخل بيتها يوم فتح مكة فاغتسل. She said that the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم entered her house on the day of the conquest of Makkah and he bathed. فسبح 8 ركعات. So he made tasbih, i.e. he prayed 8 raka'at. ما رأيته صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى صلاة أخف منها غير أنه كان يتم الركوع والسجود. She said he prayed 8 raka'at. I have never seen him صلى الله عليه وسلم pray a quicker set of raka'at than these. He prayed very quickly. However, despite praying quickly, he still completed the proper ruku and sujood. This has a lesson to us that you can vary the speed of your prayers. However, in every prayer, the minimum you must have is what we learn from the hadith of al-Musi, the one who prayed badly, that the Prophet ﷺ commanded him to make sure that he was still in each prayer place. So when he would make ruku', he would be still. And when he would stand up, he would be still. And when he would make sujood, he would be still before he moved to the next position. However, sometimes he would do so very, very long, like that night prayer that was described, where every ruku' was the same as the length of the qiyam, and every sujood was the same as the ruku', and this time between the two sajda was the same as the length of the sajda itself. And there were times when the Prophet ﷺ prayed very quickly. However, when he prayed quickly, he still completed the proper movement for ruku' and the proper movement for sujood. أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يصلي 4 بعد أن تزول الشمس قبل الظهر. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم إنها ساعة تفتح فيها أبواب السماء فأحب أن يصعد لي فيها عمل صالح. Abdullah ibn Sa'ib narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to pray 4 raka'at after the zawal, i.e. the 4 raka'at of the ratib prayer before dhuhr. And he said, indeed this is a time in which the doors of the heavens are open, and I love that a good deed would be raised up at this time. So this is, wallahu alam, referring to the 4 raka'at that are part of the regular dhuhr prayer, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. And that the time from zawal until the dhuhr prayer is established is a time when the doors of the heaven are open, and there is an opportunity for the Muslim to pray to Allah Azza wa Jal and to have some of their good deeds reach at that time. And this gives us a benefit in general regarding spacing out our worship and praying our worship at different times and in different situations, in order that we gain all of these benefits. There are some ahadith that mention, may Allah have mercy on the one that prays 4 raka'ah before Asr, that mention the virtue of the one who prays 2 raka'ah after Maghrib or after Isha, or the virtue of the one who prays the night prayer, or the virtue of one who prays the 2 raka'ah in the morning before Fajr, or the virtue of the Dhuha prayer, or the virtue of the 2 raka'ah, or the 4 raka'ah before Dhuhr, or the 2 raka'ah after. The point is that as a Muslim, we spread out our acts of worship across multiple different times and situations in order for us to take the most benefit from these various different good deeds. And also, from this is the desire of the Prophet ﷺ for reward. He did not want to leave a single opportunity for a good deed to be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He didn't want to leave any opportunity, any time where this good deed could go missing or the opportunity could be lost. And this is how the companions learned from him and how they behaved after him, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, is that they were the same. If they saw an opportunity to do good, they would do it. And that's why you hear with regard to the janazah prayer, the companion who said, when they were told regarding that the person gets the equivalent of something like the size of Mount Uhud for attending the janazah, and something the size of Mount Uhud for going to the cemetery, he said, we have missed a great qirat, a great amount of reward, a great huge portion of reward. Because the companions wanted every opportunity to gain reward, every possible way. Pray at this time, pray at that time, give charity in secret, give charity openly to inspire others. Remember Allah sitting, remember Allah standing, remember Allah lying down. All of it so that they could get the most reward out of the different opportunities that Allah Azza wa Jal gave them. And they did not want to let these opportunities go by. They did not want to let this chance to do good in the sight of Allah Azza wa Jal slip. And this is something that we should take from them and we should learn from them. More coming up insha'Allah ta'ala after the break. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.